Let me move my bobby pin out of the way. I don't think we need that for the reading. But I am going to light some incense because, you know. It's nice to freshen up the space, set the tone for the reading, right? Okay. We just had a little storm pass through, so I was outside wrestling with my little canopy that I had set up temporary because I don't have like a fancy pergola or anything in my backyard. So I set up some of my camping gear and I went to take a shower before the storms came, and then I came outside and the whole thing was like upside down, but thankfully I had a couple of the legs tied down so it didn't like fly out into my yard or into the neighbor's yard or into, you know, a vehicle or anything. So yeah, so that was kind of interesting doing that. It just kind of gave me a little moment of reflection, you know, thinking about how lucky I am. I just put a down payment on a new roof. You know what I mean? So I got to wait for them to call me and tell me when they're going to start on that. And, you know, some people, their roof is literally a flimsy little canopy like I was fixing this morning. You know, if that goes, everything below gets soaked and gets ruined. You know what I mean? So even if you were like doing that temporarily and like you had a job or something, right? Like trying to get on your feet, you know, can you imagine waking up in the morning and all of a sudden, just a washout? Anyway, just reflecting on the fortunate things, right? As we deal with the day to day that might be a little of an annoyance, an aggravation, but really nothing that's so bad, that's so terrible that we can't figure out, right? You know, it just takes a wee bit of elbow work. So yes, I'm kind of still watching that. I think the heaviest storms have like already gone through for the day. What I failed to do that I did the last time when it stormed is I left you know, the metal skeleton up, but I removed the canopy part off because that's the part that's like it acts like a sailboat. You know what I mean? Once that catches wind and lifts up, then yeah, you got a lift off, pal. Anyway, so who studied any of that technology in school, right? Right? Okay. Planes mass rockets to space. Science. All right. So we know science over here, but we're gonna get some angel card numbers first. These are actually angel number cards. I did the angel cards in like 2 readings ago, FYI, if that's what you're looking for, but these are angel number cards, okay? Pardon me. You know, I'm not a music educator, so I don't do a full vocal warm up every morning, y'all. You know, it's funny. Some people think if you're not like a teacher or have some kind of certification that you can't get here on YouTube and show people how to do stuff. Wrong. Okay, do not let those people be the naysayers in your life, please. Please. And some of them being teachers should know better than to be purveying that bullshit out to the masses. That's fucking ignorant as fuck. And they shouldn't even be fucking teaching if that's how they want to try and teach. Okay? So for those teachers, I would say those that can't do teach is an appropriate euphemism, right? Or whatever, idiom. But, you know, Not all folks are like that. Not all teachers are like that. I went to school with a whole bunch of educators, actually. I think I was the only roommate that was not was not in education. I was the odd man out starting it. Excuse me. Starting in engineering. Anyway, look at that. My. Okay, 000. Did you know the number 0 was invented in India? Do I have to be a math professor? Huh? At a university to tell you that? No, I don't. No, I don't. In fact, you can go on Wikipedia and look it up right now. Back in the day, you used to have to go to the library to look stuff up or have a set of encyclopedias at home that cost a lot of money. Nowadays, you don't have to have that. It's free as long as you can get online, which they have at the library, right? So you can look it up in a book or online, right? So, divine guidance, you are receiving guidance and protection from the universe. Trust in the divine plan for your life. Enthusiasm 343. Approach life with an optimistic attitude. Yeah. My star sign, my sun sign is known for optimism. Okay. So if you ever watch my channel and you get that, just know that that's not ever going to go anywhere because I wasn't born under a bad sign. I was born under the sign of optimism. Right? Born under a bad sign, right? That's what they want you to be doing. They want you to be, oh, my life is so terrible. Everything, oh, I had to fix my canopy this morning. Dude. A fucking child can figure that out. I'm just saying. Yeah, approach life with an optimistic attitude, even in the face of challenges. Be excited about the opportunities that lie ahead and to embrace them with open arms. Collective, I feel like some of you are creating your own opportunities. And I just saw something about in Australia them wanting to ban kids from YouTube, and I'm like, what? Like YouTube's one of like the safer social media platforms. They even have like a whole YouTube Kids. So it's like, why would you want to ban YouTube? I don't get it. And I don't know about you, Collective. I watch YouTube sometimes because there ain't shit on TV I want to watch. Like, no offense. Like, I tune in for the news, some sport news and weather, some sports every now and then, right? Although my team doesn't play on the regular channels, of course, so it's almost better to go out and watch them somewhere, right? Because Lord have mercy. Otherwise, you'd be paying. It's like you're paying upwards of almost $300 goddamn dollars a month. It's like I can go to the fucking stadium if I want to do that shit. Anyway, I do have it on. I think most of the games are on AM. But I've had a serious subscription where they do broadcast the games, which I did not listen to last night's game, so I don't even know what the result was. Progression 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. Just like one of my college professors said, we were sitting in Calculus 3. Can you imagine? College Calculus 3. And he's like, 1, 2, 3. It's so easy. You don't understand? That was the moment I was like, yeah, I don't understand, and I don't think I'm going to understand. You know what I mean? At least, like, I got it in theory, but, like, doing all the computations and permutations and all that stuff, all the actual math, I was like, no. It's like, there were only 4 of us in the whole class. And I went to a pretty small university, but, like, I mean, altogether, there was probably, including grad students, was probably like 6,000 to 7,000 people. You know what I mean? And yeah, there was 4 of us in this class. No wonder why they ended up abolishing that department, which is very sad because mathematics is like a backbone of learning. It's the backbone of physics. So I didn't understand how they could like get rid of the anyway. as an alumni, I was not too happy about that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they've been remodeling and rebuilding and building all these buildings at the university. It's like, but we can't have a fucking math department. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, when I went there, and this was 25 years ago, folks, okay? When I went there, tuition was like $12K a year. I think that included room and board. Of course, I had a scholarship that helped pay for that, and then loans were the rest. You know what I mean? But my family was still expected to contribute because, you know, so, and that's in state. That was in state tuition. All right, self-care, 789, practice self-care. Ensure you're getting enough rest and engaging in activities that bring joy into your life. So collective, if you are a teacher and you're like kind of dreading the back to, right? Like, it's okay, because I'm definitely feeling that energy. Okay, just because, you know, you're starting to see the commercials, right? You know, stores might be getting busier with parents and kids getting their shoes and their clothes and their supplies and da 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 da, right? Like, this is not always just going to be your standard trip to Walmart anymore because there's going to be a lot of activity. Okay. So, you know, if you're like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well then get your ass to Walmart at 8 a.m. because you know there's no parents with little kids going to be coming into Walmart at 8 a.m. But I bet you can, right? Right? So don't make somebody else's need, right, of having to go there after work at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 p.m. Don't make that into your upset, right? Because Walmart's busy, okay? Get out there on your lunch break at noon if you have to. I used to do that shit all the time. And guess what? It was a nice relief from my coworkers. You know what I mean? And it made me very thankful to be working because I knew I could just go into Walmart and get what I needed. And then I was going to be going home after work with my Walmart purchases. Okay. Yeah, empowerment. You know? You know, honestly, those Walmart deli salads are not that bad in there. I mean, I'm pretty sure they still have them for like around $5 or less, which, you know, it's hard to get a lunch these days for that kind of money. Oh, have mercy. Anyway, you know, KFC used to have the $5 box. I don't know if they still got that anymore. Because when I was working that job in the town where it was at, there was a KFC, but it like shut down. You know what I mean? How these franchises go under and stuff, and you know. But they were one of the better ones because, you know, they're always, so whoever was in, I think they were treated actually pretty well by their management, whoever, when I was working there, because the employees always seemed happy to have customers and didn't really seem rude. You know what I mean? How sometimes you go in and it's like, they go like they can't even reach out the window to take your fucking card. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you have to fucking come to work today? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if they're going to do that bullshit, they need to start handing out the thing. You know, like they do at Starbucks, or have it just sitting there at the fucking drive-thru so these people can, you know, right? I'm not saying everybody's like that, but you know what I'm saying? The girl the other day did just fine. She gave me my change back, you know. It's like, you can tell. You can tell. Some people just think they're too good to be working. Right? I'm too pretty to work. Right? Yeah, I bet. Because let me tell you, I bet underneath that, your attitude is shit. Like some of these folks, have you ever tried to talk to them for even 2 seconds? It's like, try and get a conversation going. And y'all wonder why some of these folks stay single. Okay? Because we're like, yeah, we ain't dealing with... Ooh, talk about terrifying. I don't want to be sitting in the same room as that, or sleeping in the same room as that. Page of Swords. Am I have a whole deck of reverse? Okay, yeah. Page of Swords. So collective people could be kind of spying right now or talking. There could be a lot of chit chat. Again, it's summer, right? It's like people, have these long days to kind of, fool around and stuff like that. So if you are engaging in that, like there's always a time and a place for that, right? Um, and maybe that's giving you, kind of a clue as to the next move, right? Because you're looking at this, I feel like, from a holistic perspective, right? What's that song? Everybody Talks. My cousin, who's a musician, she plays that song. But yeah, it's just like everybody's gonna be saying something. I mean, and what are you gonna do? Run around and be like, "Oh, well, that's not true. What so and so said, and that's not true." You can spend your whole life doing that. That's why they have these rich people have teams of lawyers to go after these people. They have hired guns to go after people that are slandering and libeling them. Ordinary folks don't have that, right? But we do have the power of YouTube and social media platforms and stuff, which is why I'm a little concerned about this, whatever, Australia, and they're talking about, banning it for, banning YouTube for minors. Well, what if that's some kid's platform to be able to, like, express themselves? I'm just saying. You know what I mean? It just seems weird to me. Ten of Swords. Yeah, collective. Anybody that didn't want you to express yourself in the past, you're leaving that behind, and you have a newfound enthusiasm for saying whatever you need to be saying at the time that you're saying it. And if they don't like it, they can F right off, right? And it's kind of like that. Because last time we checked, who was paying the bills? Ding, ding, ding. Not them. Right? And here we go. I was channeling this earlier. It's like, when's the last time any of them people offered you a job? Hmm? Right. I don't think so. But what did they do? Here, gimme, right? And if it's not your money, it's your time, it's your resources, right? Um, the famous documentary about the shut-ins, the Grey Gardens ladies, and was a clip floating on the internet where she was like, well, I stopped drinking with men, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, that's a very intelligent comment, isn't it? Right? Like, there was somebody online the other day that, I'm on a dating site right now. I'm giving it like a month. It's time limit, right? Um, so there was like a hello, and then they said I have a theory, and I was like, about, question mark. And then they wrote back like three separate paragraphs of something, and I thought, yeah, I don't really. I thought, this morning I was thinking about it too, because I haven't responded back. I didn't even really read all those paragraphs in much thorough, but I thought that just sounds like something maybe you need to pontificate with your bros about, right, in a pub somewhere. Like, that is not the type of stuff that you come to a woman with that you're like interested in romantically. Like, it was a complete turn off and just bored me instantly. I was, it's just a game. It's just some kind of weird game. And it's like, yeah, that sounds like maybe you just need to spend more time with your bros pontificating. Yeah. Where was I at? Reddit the other day, and I saw some dude. It was like there's a Passport Bros Reddit, and the guy had his picture there with two Asian women, and this really bothered me. He had his hands on their head, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss China, blah blah blah. How do you guys readjust?" So I'm assuming those were like working girls that he hired to like keep him company. What do you mean, how are you going to adjust? I guess you're just going to have to adjust your wallet and spend more on the American girls when you get home. Since you actually don't want to date women, you just want to buy them. It's like people really post this stuff in there, and it's like, ugh. Talk about enough internet for the day, right? And then, right, collective, and then these people want to come around and judge you. Honey, honey. Nope, ain't no grown person has time for that. Okay. So progression collective, yeah, anything that's not giving you the vibe, right? You're basically just kind of like, that's very easy for me to discern that 789, you're not going to be in my circle anymore. And in fact, you never were in my circle. I didn't even invite you into the circle yet. But you're talking like you're already in the circle. You're not, right? You know what I mean? When people approach you in like some kind of familiar way, and it's like, well, I know you must not have been raised in a church environment to be coming up to females or even males in general, right? And just be talking the way that you do, you know? But for some of them, it's an act because around the right people, around the status holding people, right? The VIPs, uh huh, the ones with padded wallets, they sure know how to act, don't they? And oftentimes it's at work. They know how to act this way, right? Progression. What's your progression? What's your forward arc? You know, into the universe here. Mm-hmm. And from maybe having your heart broken, maybe being right for trusting the wrong folks, stuff like that. Sure. Mm-hmm. Not allowing a heartbreak to become everything, right? That's why they say, don't make a man your whole world, don't make a woman your whole world, right? You need to have some outside self care. You need to have some outside interests because you put you expect somebody else to provide every ounce of fulfillment, then that's a codependency, right? And the people that want to get mad at you for it and say, oh, well, this is all your fault that I'm not healed, those are the narcissists, right? So you're the people that operate in this, right? You're not feeling this. Maybe they are right now, right? Maybe they're sitting in it because you've progressed away from their games and nonsense. And you're like, yeah, it's not that I don't understand. It's that I don't have time for this. So moving on. You know what I mean? And like, if that person shows up enough, right, that you want to invest into, more lengthy conversations and blah blah blah. I mean, and I feel like anybody that's tried online dating before knows that these conversations can drag and drag and drag. And sometimes it's because these people are actively in other relationships. So, I mean, they could be messaging you for years and never actually want to meet, right? So, you have to be very careful about how you use your time, right? That includes on dating apps, that includes in business meetings, that includes how much time you give your family, right? Well, mom's not here to pack my lunch. Well, mom's not here to do this. Well, have you ever learned to tie your shoes? Didn't your mom teach you that? For those of us that couldn't, I'm sure she got you some goddamn Velcro. I personally had some zips when I was younger. I liked them. Mine were purple. Look at that. Two of Cups. Yeah, I feel like collective, this self care is bringing you to somebody who's matching your energy and not only in a romantic way, but in friendly ways as well, right? Where it's like, instead of people acting like this, let's cut a bitch, right? That type of stuff. There's the water flying off the roof. It kind of stopped raining, but it's still a little breezy. So, well, it's not raining as hard. I should not say it stopped raining because it is definitely still raining. But like when I was out, I got soaked. I had to change my clothes. So I got two showers today. Um, Anyway, yeah, collective. I mean, um, it's like, do you want to be a parent to your spouse or partner, or or do you want an actual partner, somebody that can stand on their own 2 feet, you know? And like, I have nails, but like sometimes I gotta cut my nails because my work requires me to do other things, right? Um, I don't feel collective. You're giving off any prima donna energy. It's just you're very empowered. Okay. Um, so again, if somebody's criticizing your looks in any way, like, oh, well, you're not feminine because you don't wear dresses, or you're not feminine because you don't do this, or you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff. Again, there was some dude on internet dating, and he tried to like do the negging, what they call it, right? And guys think like women have never heard of this before, right? Okay. Anyway. Um and he was like, "Well, have you been on online dating before?" And I was like, "Well, most people of a certain age have been online for dating." And he's like, "And oh my God, and you still haven't found anybody?" I was like, "Well, apparently you haven't either." And then when I went back to look if he had even like read that or anything, because I was just gonna like block him, I saw that the whole conversation disappeared. So I think he caught on that I caught on to his negging, right? Where I'm like, no, we're not doing this, right? Yeah, lover's energy. You love yourself way too much to engage in the little self-deprecating, right? That's what people want you to do. They want you to be self-deprecating. They want you to over humble yourself. They want you to say you're nothing. They want you to blah blah blah. No, we're not doing. This is not the season to do that. And if you didn't know, Leo season. Okay? So think about that. Think about that. Right? Okay. Yeah. So lovers overall, Gemini. Ooh, look at that. Passion. Passion and fire. So collective, you could be running into somebody really though that you're able to communicate with. Okay, friendship and otherwise, right? And I think this is really gonna empower you to kind of come into your own, right? Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like you've already survived the worst, right? So you're like, not doing that again, right? Yeah, you're like, out the sun, right here, Leo. That whole kind of like, yeah, I love myself way too much to be worried about that, right? Good grief. Anyway, I think that's all I have for you guys today. So I hope you enjoyed this message. Again, mostly air sign energy, really, with the swords and the lovers card here with Gemini. So until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.